I'm the CEO at Consumer Credit Counseling Service of Buffalo. We've partnered with the Veterans One Stop Center since its inception. And so we provide pre-pandemic on-site free financial counseling services. And now we're still in the remote operation because of the pandemic, but providing financial counseling services for veterans. So we are a non-for-profit organization. We've been around for over 50 years. And really our services are pretty comprehensive in terms of personal finances. So anything below the point in which somebody is like ready to go and talk to maybe a financial planner to talk about investing. We do all the things kind of before that point. So really, a wide range of people who are serving from, those living in poverty to those who, are middle class, but just can't seem to get ahead. So the various services that we provide is we can help people with their credit. So credit is a mystery for a lot of people. It's complicated. It's intimidating. And so sometimes people just don't know where to start. So they're not really focused on either establishing or reestablishing credit. And as we all may know, I'm a huge proponent of making sure that people have the information that they need in order to establish credit and build their credit, because that can be a huge area where they go from building wealth to not building wealth, and then it leads into generational poverty. So how do we help people build wealth, and then therefore that gets transferred onto future generations? So our counselors are equipped to help people access their credit reports, understand what's on them, and then give them the tools and information they need to improve their credit moving forward. And that, of course, opens a lot of doors for people. So from the most basic of not needing to utilize services such as buy here, pay here, that just further limits people from building wealth, because they're paying more for goods and services than the general public would if they were able to obtain a small loan to or get financing to purchase furniture or whatever it may be. And obviously access to transportation, obtaining a vehicle. And then, further down the line, obviously purchasing a home. So that can be a big way that families can build personal wealth through home ownership. We can also help people talk to people about the most effective strategies for paying down and eliminating debt. So whether that be collection accounts, a lot of things, especially if, while you're in active duty, various things may, finances may fall off track and bills aren't paid. And then all of a sudden, you come back and there's all these issues on your credit report. So we can talk about, how those various things can be mitigated, whether it be disputing something if it's inaccurate, or putting a plan in place to try to pay down that debt and then reestablish that credit. Or it could be a situation of crippling credit card debt. You're not budgeting, or just finances in general, life happens, different hardships happen. So we find and help a lot of people who have accumulated credit card debt. They're able maybe to make minimum payments, but is that long-term sustainable and something that's helping them build wealth? No. So we can work with them to take a look at a possible plan we offer an internal repayment plan where we work with creditors to reduce down interest rates and minimum payments. An individual makes one monthly payment to us, and we then send that out to each individual creditor for them on a monthly basis. It's a payment in full of their debt, just at better terms. So overall, it's not, there's a lot of misconceptions and confusion within that type of space where there's a lot of for-profit debt settlement companies that put people in a worse place than where they started with. They're not really looking out for that, for the best interest of the consumer. And they're also not providing holistic counseling. So we're licensed by the New York State Department of Financial Services to provide those types of services. We can also talk about creating and maintaining a sustainable household budget. Talk about various resources within the community that may be able to allow them to reduce expenses, along with just other general ways in which they may be able to budget their income more effectively. And then we also, in general, we do provide, so we provide one-on-one services, but we also provide group education to groups. So if anybody is ever interested in having somebody from Consumer Credit come to a group and talk about pretty much anything I just talked about, but in addition to that, you know, unsafe financial decisions, products, you know, basic banking skills and avoiding predatory lending practices, identity theft, and so forth. So really a wide range of personal financial topics that we can assist people with either on a one-on-one basis or in a group setting as well. So I pretty much have ran through most of the lists that I on that previous slide, but I will just mention a couple things that I didn't get to. We do offer student loan counseling. So, you know, over the years, student loan debt has become an increasingly crippling debt for the younger generation. So we can assist with talking through what various repayment plans are available, how to consolidate and assist individuals in consolidating those loans, and also talk about various forgiveness programs that they may be eligible for. We also are a HUD certified housing counseling agency. So we're able to provide people with counseling regarding mortgage delinquencies. So if they either think that they are approaching delinquency or are in fact delinquent on their mortgage, we can handhold and help them through the process to become current, or work out with their servicer what their various options may be. As we know, both with you know, housing situations and student loan, with the pandemic, there have been forbearances and moratoriums on foreclosures and evictions, and you know, that's slowly going to come to a close. So we may see an influx of people, or the anticipation is we will see an influx of people who you know, they weren't having to pay these debts for a significant amount of time. They were getting other you know, stimulus payments. So they've been able to stay afloat, and that's just seen on a national level that people are actually in a good economic situation right now previous to the pandemic. But as we all hopefully get to the point of getting back to normal, there may be an influx of situations where people are struggling in these areas. So we're involved in many programs that are providing us grant funding and so forth to deal with this influx. So if anybody's facing issues with their mortgage that could lead to foreclosure or eviction due to delinquency on their rent, that's something that consumer credit counselors can assist with. I already talked about debt management plan in terms of helping people repay credit card debt. And just, you know, a lot of times people wonder who we serve. And like I said, it's really just a wide range of people. I always say if people have a question or you're not sure if it fits within the scope of our services, it's never a bad referral to give them our number, because if we're not the right resource for them, we do try to get them over to the proper resource. So sometimes it's gone too far, depending on the client situation. We may refer to a legal clinic or something like that, but that's at least something that we can screen for and let them know. we struggle because there's a lot of bad actors out there. And like I said, people are afraid to talk about money sometimes. They're afraid to open up. They might not talk to family, friends, may not talk to a different service provider. But if they do, we want to make sure that our community knows that we're here and we're able to help, because there's a lot of Google searches and false claims of being able to, wave a magic wand and help people out of their financial distress. But unfortunately, there's a lot of companies out there trying to take advantage of people or making false claims. It really is the biggest part. So that's pretty much all I have in terms of sharing who we are, what we do. And if anybody has any questions, let me know.
Noelle, can you share your locations, because you do have several locations, and can you also mention the VITA tax prep program?
Yes. So like I said, things are a little bit different right now because we're pandemic. We have chosen, since we're a one-on-one type of situation in close proximity with people, that we're not doing one-on-one counseling. So we serve all of Western New York. It doesn't matter where the individual is located. We are providing services via phone, virtually, and via Zoom, and so also some of our services, through online methods. So right now, that would be the way to go. But our main headquarters is in West Seneca. Like I said, under normal circumstances, we are periodically at the Veterans One-Stop Center in Buffalo. And then also we work out of Pinnacle in Niagara Falls, and we're transitioning to a new location, but somewhere centrally located in Lockport. We were at the Dell Association. And yes, so we do run a free volunteer income tax program. And that's kind of under the umbrella of the IRS, and we solicit volunteers to become IRS certified tax preparers, and we're able to file taxes for people free of charge. So our program is located in Niagara County. So anybody in Niagara County that would want to go to a location in Niagara Falls or Lockport could be eligible. I don't have the income limit quite off the top of my head, but I think it's, mid 50,000 or so. So it's pretty generous, is my point. And
I think you just have to make under 60,000.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what it was before. I'm not sure if it still is, but that's what it was before, because I was very impressed with how much a person can make and still get free tax prep.
Right. And that could apply, and that's open to the public. So again, we run the sites in Niagara County, but if that applies to you, a staff member, clients that you work with, veterans that you work with, whoever. Kathy, you obviously will receive the information. We're just starting to ramp up that program for next year. So Kathy, you get that information via our coalition group. So then if you want to, and if you could pass that off to this group as a whole, that would be great.
Definitely.
All right. Thank you.